Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Series 2 of this year for Archicad Now. And this series will be focusing on accelerating IDD adoption. As usual, there will be one episode on every Thursday from today, 27th of July, until 24th of August. So let's get started. Session 1, Introduction to IDD and Design Use Cases. So let's just get familiar with IDD first. So as we all know that as we all know that BIM started in Singapore in 2010, and since then it has evolved from just being BIM, and then we've had even more improved workflows with VDC coming into picture, and then now we have integrated digital delivery. So idea between all these processes is just to improve the productivity in the built environment. So is IDD in line with the same as well. IDD will be focusing more on streamlining and digitalizing all your workflows in the built environment from design until the FM stage. This basically will be leveraging on a lot of technology. And of course, the end goal is to improve the productivity across project lifecycle. So let's just get familiar with the key focus areas of IDD. So IDD can have improved workflows in 4 different areas. The first one will be design, next one fabrication, then we have construction, and then finally facility management. So here I have listed a few of the use cases for you all to take a look at, but definitely this is not limited to what you see on the screen. As I said, that the key focus is to improve productivity or take out all the redundant workflows from all your design to FM stage workflows. So you basically focusing on the improvement. So any of the use cases you feel that can improve productivity in certain areas in the project life cycle, you can implement the same. Of course, if later I'll be sharing resources whereby you can get familiar with the essential use cases that BCA is actually looking at, and you can try and implement the same as well. So in line with that, what I have on screen right now is basically solution mapping of from schematic to facility management, the products or the tools that you can actually use to improve the productivity in those areas or those phases of the project. So from schematic design to design development, construction, handover, and facility management, you can either use products within Graphisoft ecosystem, or we have a lot of products that can also be implemented from under the Nemetschek group as well. And we will be sharing a lot more in the coming sessions. So stay tuned for all of those. So let's focus on integrated digital delivery design use cases. So for this series, of course, due to the limited sessions and also time, we will be focusing on a few of them. And let's just take a look at what will be our focus for the session 1. So for session 1, we will be talking about design collaboration, design analysis, integrated design modeling, ICE coordination, and data-driven design. So let's take a first look at the first category or the first use case, which is design collaboration. I'm sure you all are so far using Archicad and Teamwork and BIMcloud capabilities and very much familiar with how collaboration works in Archicad. So we all know that teamwork is a very potential tool in Archicad, and it actually allows all the team members to work together simultaneously on work sharing environment and allows your project team to collaborate together. So this gives you a better control about on elements as well as your views, and you can make use of BIMcloud teamwork and develop your models, may it be any discipline or key structure or MEP, and work in a collaborative environment. And then once you're ready, you can publish the model into BIMx, and the same information from BIM can be taken over and shared with other stakeholders or non-BIM users who want to interested in project progress, or even for that matter, bringing that information on the site to develop or to verify or validate or bring back some information from site back to your office. So that way, Archicad allows a better way of collaboration and improving your workflow from your office to site, as well as within the team, bringing teams much more closer in a collaborative environment. Now, let's take, in line with that also, we have our concept of integrated design modeling, or what we call as one integrated model, which is pioneered by Sarbana Jurong, and I would like to thank them to bring this up as well and use it across their projects. So with that, we all know that this is a very powerful concept and being used across a lot of projects. So let's just take a look at this. So within architectural teams, they would start with developing their non-typical levels first, going on to the units, and those units will then form a typical floor, bringing them or stacking them up to form a block, adding the roof to it, and that will give you the entire architectural block, and then you can move on to generate your documentation from there. So once the architectural, while the architectural team is actually developing their model, they can actually share the model inside BIMcloud, and the same model can be also used by the structural team to add their elements and reuse the existing information and add the structural information to the existing model and come up with their structural block and then develop their documentation. Likewise, the MEP team also can make use of the architectural unit files and hotlink them and develop their MEP or add their MEP information in those units. And then they can come up with the MEP unit files, developing their documentation set from there. And from then on, they can just use the architectural block file for the areas which are common and add the MEP information to the common areas, developing the block file, and then documentation for the common areas can be done from there. So again, from architectural model, the information is getting circulated and is also being used at the same time. So the waiting game is put to a stop, and the information is seamlessly flown from one team to the other, or even between the teams themselves. So in a way, we have the architectural model, then from there we take information, develop the structure, the MEP also is developing together, and then we have a coordinated model and with all the services also inside. So this actually so this one integrated model actually saves majorly on time, because you are actually using 80% of the information that is required in the structural model is actually coming from architectural. So that is the biggest saving and is also proven by a lot of implementation of this concept in Sarbana Jurong's project as well. Okay. So this is what we were focusing on, design collaboration for the first use case in the as opposed to the conventional process where teams were actually waiting for the information or waiting for the architectural model to be developed and restart all over again from scratch to develop the structural model, and then the MEP teams wait for Archi and structure to finish and then they start. So this causes actually a lot of delay and also a lot of errors as well. And the coordination, of course, then comes in the last part. Whereas this one integrated model concept or design collaboration within Archicad allows you to have coordination as a part of the modeling process and avoids untimely or unseen situations which can cost you money as well as time. Now let's move on to the next design use case, which is design analysis. Now we have seen that 80% of our information is actually coming from the architectural model. So we are actually reusing the information assign the structural function. So within Archicad, it is possible to assign the structural function to the existing elements and prepare your model for structural analysis. Okay, so within the structural analytical tool, you will be able to verify your connections via nodes and also do a quality check for your structural analytical model. And then finally, you can export the structural model as SAF and bring it into third-party structural analysis softwares like Skia, Risa, and so on. Now here I have a video how to go about this thing. So as you can see on the screen, we have a part of the model where I'm actually trying to assign structural functions to the elements. So I've selected columns and beams, and I will just assign structural load-bearing function to these elements, and then I can just with a click, I can change the model analytical, the structural model with load-bearing elements, activate my structural analytical toolpath, made me transparent nodes. I can activate the nodes to see if there is any loose connections or if any changes need to be done. Or for that matter, I can also see this as in terms of 1D or 2D elements. I can also decide or customize the rules based on the connections that I want to see. So you can actually do the structural analytical model generation rules from this tool palette and add your own rules to it. And then you can also generate a structural model quality report with all the issues coming up, and then from there you can actually view them one by one by just right clicking on those issues and then choosing where you want to see them in a like a floor plan view, and one by one you can view them. Once that is done, you can actually save them as issues, and you can then export the report to BIMcloud. And finally, you can also so in this part, you can actually see how many issues were there as well. And then finally, you can go to the issue organizer, and under the issue organizer, you will see the issues that you have created, and then you can export them to BIMcloud. The model, which is now generated, can also be saved as SAF, as I mentioned earlier. Just you have to click Save As, give it a name, and make sure the translator is SAF translator, and then you can save it as the SAF format, and then you can share that with other users who are actually your structural engineers to do the further analysis. As I said, that this SAF format can be brought inside a lot of structural analytical softwares like Skia, Frillo, Risa, or XCSVM, or Infograph, and it can be used for further analysis. And this is not just limited to the structural analytical capabilities, but we have actually conducted a webinar series, or Archicad Now series, last year, and we have given you insights on detailed insight on design analysis and simulations. So we've done 5 sessions in that series as well. There's a QR code on your screen if in case you want to go through those simulations and analysis. So we've done the wind simulation, sun simulation, artificial light simulation, rainfall simulation. We've done these. You can just go through them and see if any of those can help you with your workflow. And if you need more help, do feel free to reach out to us, and we will be able to guide you further and make it work for you. So for this part, we will be our focus KPI will be better visualization and also to reduce errors, because initially in the conventional process the calculations were done manually, whereas now we are focusing on calculations done within the system based on the parameters which are accurate and not manual, and also the results are immediate when you are making any changes to those parameters. And this saves, again, is going to save you time and give you accurate results. And then moving on, we have the use case for eyes coordination. As we know that Archicad's inbuilt capability also is collision detection. So we are not relying on any external software, and hence that becomes a very integral part of what we talked about earlier, which is one integrated model, because as I said, collision detection or issues are looked at or reviewed within the modeling process itself. So within Archicad, you can run collision detection, export the report as BCF to BIMcloud, and it can be shared with other users who can actually bring that BCF inside the model in their model as well, and review what the issues are. That way, your communication is faster, resolution is on time. And not just that, you can actually, once this model is published to BIMx, the BIMx, you can bring your iPhone or bring your phone or iPads to sites, and then review the model sheet sections on the site, do your markups, and you can also add information and message from BIMx from the site itself to the people in any part of the world as well. Let's take a look at this now. So once the model is published to BIMx, you can actually log on to the BIMx transfer site, and then I think the video is yet to play. Just give me a moment. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so you can just log into the BIMx model transfer site, and then from there you can upload the model to BIMx. Once the uploading is done, you're ready to view the model and use it for the purpose that you would like to on site or for your presentations, everything. And for this purpose, the model that we are using today is by our partners in Hong Kong, Enzyme, and that they have done a brilliant job with the model, and we are able to share this today with you. So here you can see I can go to any sheet that I would want to, or a 3D, and I can measure the dimensions, check the dimensions in the model and verify it on the site as well. And if in case I want to save any of the views as my favorite in the BIMx itself, I can do so. Not just that, it's not just limited to that. I can measure from point to point within BIMx and get the information verified. And with that information, I can take my notes or bring the information back to office as well. Another capability here is that within BIMx, I can actually message my team members. So as you can see here, I can actually send out a message, take a screenshot here, and then share with other team members. So let's just take a look at another output here where, as you can see, I can go to the desired location and just type a message there that I want to share with my colleagues or my project team members. Not just that, I can take a screenshot of or a picture on site and attach it with the message and send it to the other project members. And once that has been sent out, when the team members will log in, send and receive, then they will be able to see the messages that I have sent from BIMx, and they will be able to take a look at the screenshots or the information that I have attached with that. So that the information, the message all goes in once they log in and they send and receive. So that is about eyes coordination. Again, it is reducing the effort and the time that is needed for site coordination, gives you a better visualization and reduces errors, and verification and validation is done easily. So at this point, I would also like to share IDD resources with you all. If you want to get more familiar with IDD technical guide or the use cases, or if you want to get familiar with industry digital plan and roadmap, feel free to scan the QR codes on the screen, and then you can just get familiar, or feel free to ask us. We are always there to help you and guide you better. So I will leave the QR codes on the screen for some time in case you all are scanning the QR codes. All right, I will now pass the time to my colleague Vimal to guide you further and share more information on data-driven design.
All right, hello everyone. So I hope everyone can hear me. So today I'm going to show this topic, data-driven design, which is a specific topic. And then before going into this workflows, let me explain what is data-driven design to you guys. And then I'll go into the workflow, which we have developed to show you guys today. So this data-driven design can propel all these workflows throughout the construction life cycle, and then it can improve the productivity across all the stages of construction life cycle. So during the inception stage, the data-driven design enables us to capture all the requirements, either it is client requirements or the technical requirements in terms of design, safety, and so on. We just capture all this and then use that to do the design. And then during the design, we have these requirements which we can validate across at any point of time during the design, so that we are not deviating from the design intent. So it helps you to come out with a very focused design. And then the change management is much more efficiently handled. So whatever information that you want to share across the platforms, this data driven design this data driven design approach will enable you to sync with all the tools that you are working together, and then let you do the better design. And then we also capture the product specifications in terms of catalogs or any safety requirements, any warranty requirements, and so on. So everything can be captured, and then that can be used to come out with a specific design for your project. And then during the construction stage, you can access the project info, not just during construction stage, even during the design stage. You can access your project info from anywhere. If you have a data driven design system, that can enable you to join from anywhere and then access the information, either be 2D information or 3D information, or even the product related information. You should be able to access it from anywhere. And then it helps you to have a control over the cost and timing, which by you can perform the progress monitoring of your project during the construction stage. And during the asset and facility management stage, it enables you to do the digital handover by having all your design data put in one place as a silo, which can communicate with all the tools that you're using. And then once you have this information, it enables you to integrate with the asset management system, which can be efficient, cost efficient, and energy efficient as well. And you can do a lot of automation since you have all this data digitally available on this data driven design platform. Okay, so having seen what is data driven design, so let us see how the workflow could be. Together with the Graphisoft products, we are introducing to you guys dRofus, which is a data driven design tool. So Archicad can seamlessly work together with dRofus, and then you can have it. There is a direct link plugin which can work in two-way. So whatever information that you capture inside Archicad or design inside Archicad, you will be able to pass it across and then put it inside the dRofus in a seamless way using this dRofus plugin inside Archicad. And also whatever the requirements that you have inside dRofus, you should be able to validate it with the design that you're doing inside Archicad using this direct connection. And mostly the designers will be using this both the tools, and then they will be able to come out with a better design using the data-driven design approach. And then once you're having the Archicad project, and if you want to collaborate with the stakeholders from around the world, you can host your project on BIMcloud so that anybody can help you to develop the project by joining your project, so that it becomes even more efficient. And then when you want to access the information from dRofus, right? So we are coming out with this workflow of Python API. So we can have this REST API using which you can pull the information from dRofus that is hosted on dRofus platform and then publish it into the BIMcloud, so that anybody who wants to check this particular information or who wants to consume this information will be just able to log into BIMcloud and then on a browser and then just check it out, just the reports or something like that. So mostly these would be the developers or owners or the project managers. And then following that, we also have this BIMx where we have the Archicad model published, and then you can access all the 3D or 2D related information inside BIMx in a much more efficient way on your mobile devices. But what about the dRofus information? So we are also coming out with this extension for BIMx, using which you can select the element in BIMx and then you will be able to view the dRofus data within the BIMx platform. So most likely the project stakeholders who are from construction or even from design who don't want to check into the design inside Archicad, they can check the BIMx tool and then they can get the information and then make appropriate decisions based on the information that is available for them. So this is pretty much what we have developed for this data-driven design workflow, and we are going to see it in the action today. So thanks to dRofus for this slide. So this is what dRofus can do. So dRofus can basically collect all the high level information with respect to project, buildings, levels and so on, to detail levels of each and every items or system, or even the information related to the rooms, the names of the rooms, the numbers and everything, area. So all this information can be collected by dRofus and then it can be seamlessly work together with Archicad so that you can come out with a better design. So let us see one by one of this data-driven design workflow. So for the inception stage, so basically what we do is we go inside dRofus and then we collect all the design requirements. So here is the dRofus interface, so where you can plan your building, individual levels, and then the rooms inside the levels. And then if you have each room, so if you select the level, you can see all the equipments that you have planned inside that particular level. Or if you just select one of the rooms, it will just show the equipments that are planned within that particular room itself. And when you open the room data, you can see all the metadata that you can enter here, and all this is customizable. And you can also pull the information from Archicad. So you can see here I've developed this BIMx link, a checkbox or text box where you can pull the information from Archicad and put it there. And you can also see we can add images, documents, and plan the equipments. So you can see here, these are the quantity of equipments that we have planned for this particular room. And then we can also plan doors, windows, services, and finishes as well. Okay, so if you go down further, you have this room template where you can have your own room template and then deploy it across projects so that all the equipments can be seamlessly managed and then planned and designed inside Archicad projects. And then we also have this items catalog where you can have your building elements, doors, windows, equipments, even materials, has catalogs here, and then you can put all the information related to that particular equipment or material in the form of metadata or in the form of images or in the form of documents. So as you can see here, we have this cost data as well. And if you go further inside and open the entire item data, we can further customize this information here. And you can see here I've added this BIMx link for this particular flat screen TV. So you'll be able to access the flat screen TV by just going to dRofus here and then just click the link. It will open for you in BIMx. And also you can plan and schedule or design your services, MEP services as well. And dRofus also has this report generation tools where you can generate reports in terms of PDF or even in Excel sheets. So these are manual reports. Later we'll be showing how to generate the reports using Python API in a seamless way and then publish it inside BIMcloud. And you can see this is the user interface settings that you use to customize all the metadata that you want to attach to rooms and then even the items. So coming to Archicad, so how to make both of them work together. So as I said earlier, there is one plugin. So we need to log in. After installing the plugin, log in to dRofus using the credentials and then the servers. So once you log in, you need to turn on the dRofus panel. So basically, when you select any of the element inside Archicad, it will show you the dRofus information and then the link for you on that panel. So you can dock this panel anywhere around on the screen and then use it seamlessly. So the next is place room mode. Later I'll show you what is the advantage of this. So it is always better to have this mode enabled. And then now when I select any of the equipment, you can see on the panel that this particular equipment is linked with an item inside dRofus and it is coming from a favorite. Okay, so all these favorites are automatically created when you link the dRofus item with Archicad object. Okay, so how this linking is done? So it is done using this room and item configuration. So items are for basically objects and rooms are for zones. So you can see here the key attribute is the serial number. So this I have manually set up, and then on the bottom we have that information flow from Archicad to dRofus. So you can see the arrow, it is flowing from Archicad attribute to dRofus attribute, and these are the attributes that I have set, but you can set hundreds of attributes that you want to transfer from Archicad to dRofus. So having set the object configuration, the next is the room configuration. So when you open the room configuration dialog, so it's exactly the same as what we saw for item configuration. You can see the key attribute is matching, and I've set the user data as key attribute, and you can see there are data flowing in from dRofus to Archicad, which is program area and room name, and then there is some information like height, BIMx link, the measured area, everything is flowing from Archicad to dRofus. So there is two-way flow in this room configuration. So now that we have set up the configuration, we need to link the elements in terms of favorites with the dRofus item. So for that, go to dRofus menu and then go to items dRofus dialog, and then you can see on the left side we have the dRofus items, and then on the right side we have the corresponding Archicad favorites. So you can just select both and then use the icon in between to link of them, and you can see on the bottom we have few of the elements that are already linked with the items on the dRofus. Okay, so with this set, you will be able to plan and design your model in a much better way, in a seamlessly flowing information across Archicad and dRofus. Okay. All right, so let us go to the next stage where we do the design, and then we do the design validation side by side, and then we also see how the change management happens. So what if I do something inside Archicad and change it so that I can update it inside dRofus, or if I have something in dRofus which I have already planned but is not designed in Archicad, and how should I bring that information inside Archicad, we will see. And then we can also see how to capture the product related specifications and all that from dRofus. Okay, so now you can see my dRofus panel is on. I'm trying to use the zone tool and then set all the necessary settings inside, and then I'm going to place this zone in an appropriate location. So I'm just placing this corridor zone, and then you can see the place mode is on. So when this place mode is on, as soon as I place the zone, it will give a pop-up for me letting me to link this particular zone with the dRofus room. So here I'm choosing the corridor and then I'm just linking with it. So once I link it, I should be able to validate the planned design and then what I have inside the Archicad design already. Okay, so you can see I can select the room and then I have the room related information on the panel, dRofus panel, and I can select this show room equipment from here, or I can even select the room and then go to the dRofus menu and then select show room model equipment. So you can see here there are two equipments in this list, and there is one fire extinguisher which is being planned, but it has not been designed inside Archicad yet, so it shows a -1 difference. And we also have metal doors that are placed inside Archicad, but it's not planned inside dRofus. So let us see how this mismatch of information is going to be matched using this interface. So now you can see I can select this update Archicad. As long as the elements are linked using the favorites, it will automatically place the element inside the room in a location, and then I have to drag and put them in an appropriate location for me to create the model. So this will help you to have a planned design, and then based on that you are doing the design checks every now and then to meet the requirements. And again, now the doors are placed inside Archicad, but they have not been planned inside dRofus. So we need to update this information in dRofus. So I can just click update dRofus here on this model equipment panel dialog box, so that it will immediately update the planned information inside dRofus. So you can just see, I can click OK. And then now when I go to dRofus to check this, I can select the corridor room and then go to the doors and windows panel there, and then I can see the metal door has been updated there. Okay, so going back to Archicad, so let us try to check out another room that has already been placed, and then see how we can validate across the planned design from dRofus and then what is designed in Archicad. So here I'm trying to select this office room 2. And then if I go to dRofus menu, I can click show model equipment, and then you can see we have all the list of equipments that are planned and that are designed inside Archicad, and there is some mismatch as well. So when you see the difference, the sliding door is having a difference of 1, and the cupboard is having a difference of -2. So there are 3 planned cupboards and we have only 1 design cupboard inside my room. So again, I have to just click update Archicad, so it will place the cupboards, the extra 2 cupboards exactly inside my model, so that I can just drag them and place them in the right location using this. So you can see it has placed the cupboard there, and exactly 2 only. So I can just move them to the right location where I want to place them. And then the next is the door. So now I want to update this information inside dRofus. Just click update dRofus, it updates for you inside the dRofus. So now let me select this particular room, and then let me perform some validation within Archicad in terms of area. So you can see here on this panel, you can see there are arrows next to this programmed area and design area, which means that the arrow, orange arrow or the red arrow, is from dRofus to Archicad, and the blue arrow is from Archicad to dRofus. So the information flow it is showing. So to find out this area difference or the area heat map, I have just created this area difference property, and then I'm going to use this property in a graphic override template, and then I can just check what are all the area that are having lesser area compared to the plant, and what are all the zones that are having more area compared to the plant. So I can just apply this graphic override, and then those that are in red are having lesser area compared to the planned area, and then those that are in green are having more area compared to the planned area. So you can even set up the graphic override to check the information with respect to the percentage of difference. So here I'm just using a very simple subtraction, and then I'm checking whether it is lesser or higher. Okay, all right. So going back to this workflow where we need to access the project information across the project lifecycle on the go. So we can do that from BIMx and BIMcloud. So as I was telling earlier, so we have come out with this workflow where already we have the BIMx where we can publish our Archicad model, and we can just check the model inside BIMx from anywhere using the mobile devices. But what about the dRofus information? So there are a lot of information that we have captured inside dRofus, right? So we can access that information from BIMx interface using the dRofus web. So we have generated this Python script which will auto generate the BIMx extension for me from the Archicad model. So whatever the components are linked with dRofus, it should be able to find out those components or based on the selection that we do, and then it will just generate this BIMx extension, meaning it's auto generated. You're not creating the BIMx extension manually. And if in case there are changes in the future in the design and so on, you can just auto generate it again so that it is publishing for you the BIMx extension to check inside the BIMx interface. So let us see this in action. So on the left side, you can see the Python script that I have developed, which will generate the BIMx extension file. And then on the right side is the BIMx extension file, which has been generated, which I need to load inside the BIMx. So to generate the BIMx extension file, I'm using this find and select to select all the equipments that are having a dRofus ID. So as long as it has a dRofus ID, it means that it is linked with dRofus items. So I've selected all of them, and based on this selection, my Python script, as I run, it will be able to create a BIMx extension file, which I can load inside BIMx, and then I can check out the information about all these rooms and zones and equipments as well. So here you can see this is how the BIMx extension file looks. So for each equipment, we will have a dedicated URL, which will lead us to the dRofus platform. So here you can see I'm using the iPad screen, and then I'm loading in the BIMx extension file that has been generated by the Python script. And then once it is loaded, if in case in future, if you have any changes, you can reload the extension as well, just by publishing the or just by running the Python script. So let me go inside the model, and then once I zoom into this location where I have all the equipments, I can just select one of the equipment. I can see I can open item in dRofus menu there, and then I can just click on that. It will open the dRofus menu inside my BIMx itself. So here I can check all the design information. I can check the log that has been updated inside the dRofus platform already. So you can see I'm just checking out the information of a door. So it opens the exact door information inside dRofus platform on the pop-up. And I can add images, I can add documents from here. So you can see here there's already an image, and if I have to add more images, I can just add it from here. So even if you are at site, you can just click an image and then you can just upload it here. And not just image and document, you can also edit the metadata about this particular information as long as you have access to that. So if you have access, you'll be able to just open the dRofus link for that particular item. So here is the flat screen TV, and then if I have to change the budget price of this particular flat screen TV, I can just change it from here so that it updates for everyone across. So here you can see I'm changing it from 1200 to 1500. All right, so let me go to the next workflow where we are going to publish the dRofus item, dRofus reports that we can generate using the REST API, and use a Python script to upload that information into our BIMcloud, which can be used or which can be consumed from using any mobile device or even using PC or Mac devices. So most likely these are the developers and owners or project managers who will consume this information. So let us see this in action. So I have this Python script which will pull the dRofus report from dRofus, and then it will upload to BIMcloud seamlessly. Okay, so let us see that in action. So here is that script. So once you run that, it will ask me to authenticate. So once I authenticate, it will upload all the information into the desired location that I have set inside my script. So this is just a proof of concept. We can develop it further to make it even more sophisticated. So you can see I'm just logging in inside the BIMcloud again to check whether the information has been uploaded or not. So you can see under the dRofus reports page or under the folder, I have this dRofus details PDF, and I can go and check the versions that I've published earlier, and then I can download the exact version that I want to use, or I can roll back or copy to another folder and so on. So there is PDF and Excel report as well. So here I'm going to show how this information can be consumed from this report to the BIMx. Let me show that. Yeah. So once I use a mobile device like an iPad to log into my BIMx, I can check out the information based on the access rights that I have. So as I told earlier, you just select the right version and then you can just download it. And then you can see, you can customize the report in the way that you want. So this particular report, I'm just showing the default report from dRofus, and it has all the room information along with the items that are inside the rooms or the equipments that are inside the rooms. So when I check out this Excel sheet, the next one, I have published this Excel sheet with the BIMx link that I have brought in from Archicad to dRofus earlier. So I was showing a separate text box that I created, right? So I have this BIMx link inside this Excel sheet. So you can see here, inside here, it has the link. So when I click that, I will be able to open the BIMx file, and then it will zoom into that particular location. And also this has all the information like the quantity and then the area of the room and so on. So all this can be used to do further calculations and estimation. So you can see just now I was selecting the room and then I clicked the BIMx link and it brought me to that particular room. So now again I'm trying it for a different room, and then I just click open, it will zoom in to me to that particular room. So here in this case it's a water closet, and then I can select the equipments there, and then I can check out the equipments information inside dRofus from here. So it can even be a website, so you can just put the website of the supplier or the reference files and so on. All that can be consumed from BIMx interface itself on the go. Okay, so this is pretty much for today. So all this workflow that we have shown today, if you guys want to implement on your projects, do reach out to us. We will help you to come out with the workflow for your specific use case based on the knowledge that we have, and then you should be able to achieve a higher KPI with our help. So do follow us on our social media on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we also have a YouTube page where we will post all our recordings of our webinars. So there are a lot of webinars that we have done previously. So if you guys are new to our YouTube channel, do subscribe and then check out those videos for more information. And if you need any further support, please take note of this email address and then write to us. We will be able to support on these workflows that we have shown. So in the following weeks, we are going to show a lot more on the IDD workflows across the construction life cycle. So hopefully it will be beneficial for all of you who are joining us on this webinar.